Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to episode 25 of our Christmas Carol reviews. If you have not been following us, you want to know what's going on, be sure to click the link in the description for the introduction. You can also check the other reviews out on my channel. But today, we are talking about 2009's A Christmas Carol, starring Jim Carrey and created by Disney. Now, this one has had some controversy. We have a lot of people on both sides of the fence really liking this one, really disliking this one. So I hope throughout all this, we can kind of figure out why that is. But let's get right to it. First off, let's talk about Scrooge, played by Jim Carrey. Now, everything in this movie was done with motion capture, the same sort of thing that created the Polar Express and other movies along the line. Really popular in this time throughout the 2000s. But Scrooge itself, first off, it started off with the same sort of exposition the Patrick Stewart one did from 1999. So be sure to check that review. I'll put that in the link, or I'll put that link down there as well so you can see what I mean about that. But we start out with Marley's funeral. And it starts the exposition, basically the same sort of dialogue going through that first paragraph and everything. We really see how mean and how stingy Scrooge is because he takes the tuppence off of Marley's eyes before putting him in the ground, saying, "You shouldn't waste tuppence." Okay? And I mean, it was just very, very well done on that, really setting up how it does. And it, once again, didn't take away from the story. And throughout all of the Christmas Carol, you'll find out for this one that the book was very well represented. So 5 out of 5 on true to the book for this entire adaptation on Scrooge. When we get to bad Scrooge, he was very straightforward and very evil. Okay, he had a hunchback. I mean, look, this is my money, and I'll do what I want with it. I don't want to give it to you. Blah, blah, blah. Goes through, and he really sticks to that character. And I thought it was very well done how that was completely done. He truly felt evil throughout that whole thing, which sometimes lost the gentleman factor, which also is kind of part of Scrooge's character, so had to lose a little bit for that. So a 7 out of 10 on bad Scrooge. We'll come back to good and the transformation in a little bit. Then we get to Marley. Followed the book pretty much to a T. 5 out of 5 on that one. The interpretation, this is where we have a little bit of the controversy, and it pretty much happened throughout all of it. Most of the Christmas Carol adaptations throughout all of this have either been children-oriented or dark and straightforward. And this movie tried to capture both, but it didn't try to capture both at the same time. They tried to do the dark version to follow the book, but then would throw some sort of shtick in throughout the whole thing that really changed the dynamic. So if we look at the Marley one, first off, you had the same blank stare looking elsewhere and not looking at Scrooge and everything. And what they did here was they actually took the when he took the handkerchief off, the face fell, and he had to move the jaw in order for it to make sense on all of that. And it started really dark. It was kind of interesting how that worked. I at first I was like, that's kind of weird. Then I thought, well, what if that's how it works? I mean, he needed the handkerchief to keep it all together. So what if he had to do that to move? But then the conversation itself started to go from the Dickens words to more of comic one-liners, trying to get a bunch of things in, really get those kids involved. And with that 180, it lost a lot of like the dark tone that was. So a 5 out of 5 following the book with the interpretation, a 7 out of 10 on that, giving it a 12 for Marley. Then we move on to The Ghost of Christmas Past. It hit everything. It hit everything. And actually throughout the whole thing, it followed the book really well. There was just a couple things that I didn't like on the interpretation. The ghostly voice was Jim Carrey, but he was really creepy, kind of ghostly, and you almost couldn't understand him at times. And the one thing about the ghosts, all three of the ghosts, minus Future for obvious reasons, is you really need to understand what they're saying to know what this is happening. So lost a little bit there. It does show Scrooge really liking Christmas. When Boy Scrooge is at the school, he really starts singing a Christmas Carol in a very sad tone. So it shows that he likes Christmas before the descent, before he goes. And so it really sets it up well. But just a couple things throughout all of it. Too much kid stuff, but not fully kid stuff. Really took away once again from the storytelling. The big shtick for this one was when he doused out the Ghost of Christmas Past, it turned into a rocket and shot him over the streets. And it was weird. But anyway, like I said, 5 out of 5 in the book, 7 out of 10 again on the interpretation, giving this one also a 12. Then we get to The Ghost of Christmas Present, which really overall wasn't bad. And here's where I had an issue. I'm going to skip. First off, 5 out of 5 seeing the book. It hit everything. But with the interpretation, really the thing that made it different for this was we go from talking to the Cratchits where Scrooge tries to turn away. He's like, "Oh, I'm ashamed of what I did." And the ghost goes, "No, you must watch this." And he starts like flailing in the air while the ghost holds him up. And that's the kid shtick part. But it goes straight from that to the end of the ghost scene where the ghost of Christmas Present literally dies. I mean, literally dies, turns into a skeleton, and then disintegrates into dust as the day is ending. And I'm like, you're trying to make this kid friendly, but then you pretty much scare everyone to death with that. You can't have it both ways. And I think this is the main point of where we start to lose most of the appeal of this interpretation. We have all this stuff that's trying to happen, but they're trying to be too much both ways. If they would stick to one or like incorporate it more and not make it strictly, now we're serious, now we're happy, now we're serious, now we're happy, now we're serious. I mean, if it was more continuous, I think that might have been better. Then we get to the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. First off, following the book, 4 out of 5 on this one. It hit all the parts. But the one thing that I have to say was there was one extremely unnecessary piece, and I know Disney has gotten a bunch of ridicule from it over and over again. I myself have talked to many friends about this before, but I really wish I could get those 7 minutes back of the random hearse chase scene that ended up with Scrooge being a small person in Old Joe's shop. That was the whole point. And he goes through gutters, he slides down roofs. It's way too long. That of something that really shouldn't happen. You get rid of that, you have a much better Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. But still, even with that, they still got a 4 out of 5 on True to the Book. But the interpretation, because of that, and because it really didn't make anything else up, with Small Scrooge, he's like high-speaking chipmunk voice and all this stuff, trying to still make it kid-friendly. And it's just like 5 out of 10 on that. So a 9 out of 10 on the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. Cinematography, first off, this is motion capture. So I always find that really impressive anyway, how they can do that and really capture the faces. They really caught all of the different things on there. 8 out of 10 on the costumes. Nothing good, nothing bad. Didn't take away from it. 6 out of 10 on that. The music. Alan Silvestri is one of the masters of music, and he captured it once again. And he did it once again a lot like what he did with Polar Express. He had 1 or 2 songs that were in throughout all of it, and then take those themes throughout. In this one, he actually wrote a song performed by Andrea Bocelli called God Bless Us Everyone, and it's a very good song. But anyway, so we go from there, and the one thing I will say about the interpretation with the good Scrooge is while he's good and he still does all of that, he remains a hunchback. If you watch some other ones, when he's evil, he's a hunchback and everything. And then when he's good, he's like, oh, I can stand up straight now. It's like, you can't do that. That's a physical deformity. You don't just get that overdone by changing your personality. But anyway, a 4 out of 5 on that. And the transformation, probably one of the best ones I've seen through any interpretations. Like I said, you saw him as good Scrooge as a kid, descends down, and then goes back up, and he starts begging. And it's just like, it's so awesome. So a 10 out of 10 on that one, giving Scrooge a 26. Okay, guys, so that's been my review of the 2009 Disney adaptation of A Christmas Carol. Like I said, this has been controversial between both the ones that really like it and the ones that really dislike it. For me, like I said, the one thing I saw was it was going back and forth. If they would have stuck to one, either kid or adult, I think that would have been better, or at least make it a little bit of both. Don't try to literally go from, we have, oh, this is really funny. Yeah, he can't get away, to skeleton ghost. Think about that. But anyway, an overall good adaptation, so you really need to check this one out. I do actually enjoy watching this, minus that chase scene that we talked about. But anyway, if you like what you're seeing, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Share this one with your friends. I know everyone would appreciate it. God bless all of you, and that's a wrap.